Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is MercadezMichelle. If you are new, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to come and make this video for all of you out there that are going back to school. You may be parents, you may be working full-time. I wanted to make this video to share with you guys my experience, hopefully motivate you guys and let you know that it is a journey, but it is possible. So yeah, if you want to hear my little story on being a college student as a single mother, then keep on watching this video. So guys, I have lived it. I've went through it. It is possible. I'm here to tell you that. Now, I just want to give you guys a little backstory on my journey as a college student. So I started college back in 2011 and I went to a JUCO college, which was a junior college. So I did not go to a university straight out of high school. And I found that it was helpful for me because it didn't cost me as much as a university would have cost me. So it definitely saved me a lot of student loans, which now I am so grateful for. And it just helped me and prepared me to go to a university. It wasn't like a community college. It was bigger than a community college to me. It had like football team, it had the basketball team, it had all of the things that a university has. It was just in a smaller setting, smaller classroom, smaller environment, which coming from a small town, a small graduating high school class of about 340 people, that was perfect for me, opposed to going to a university where there would have been 200 people to a classroom, and it would have been a totally different adjustment for me. So I went to junior college. I graduated with an associate's degree from that college, so I completed all of my basic requirements at a junior college level. So basically, like, you know, before you get your degree, you have all your prereqs that they require you to get before you actually go into your degree classes. For me, like criminal justice classes, I had to complete all my math classes. I had to complete all of my sciences. You had to take like 2 years of in-language. But at JUCO, I did also take some criminal justice classes because I received an associate's in criminal justice at the JUCO level. So this happened all before Malaya came into the picture. She wasn't even thought of, but I was dating her dad in college. So that is kind of how we met. We met at JUCO. And fast forward to moving on from JUCO, about to go into my university, I found out I was pregnant the summer before my classes started at UNT. I was supposed to go to the University of Texas at North, which was about 45 to an hour away from where my parents were staying at the time. So I was just going to go out there, stay on campus, or get an apartment. I hadn't really decided, but I did find out I was pregnant. So I didn't make the transition to UNT. I stayed home, and when I was at home, I was already working that summer. I had got a summer job working for JP Morgan, and it was just a part-time job because, you know, I'm just doing this for until school started, and they knew. But it eventually became my full-time job, and it became a permanent position for me because I was pregnant. So when I found out I was pregnant, I was sick. Out of this world. Like, school was the last thing on my mind. I didn't know what I was going to do. I wasn't going to UNT because I would have to travel every day, because I wasn't going to stay on campus because I was pregnant. So it was a mess. I didn't know what I was going to do. So at that point, I just did not enroll in class. I didn't finish the enrollment process at UNT. And I didn't go to school that semester. So I was sick as heck. Like, when I tell you I could not keep anything down, couldn't keep water down, couldn't keep crackers down, couldn't keep Sprite down. I couldn't keep anything down. I was just a sick little puppy, hopeless and helpless. And I was working at this time, so I was drained. I was tired. You know, with pregnancy, you're so tired. And I was exhausted, but I was still going to work. I was going to work throwing up at my desk, it was a nightmare, and I just couldn't imagine going to school in that time. So I stayed sick majority of my pregnancy. In the middle, it did stop, but then towards the end, I got sick again. So I didn't go to school at all for the first semester or the second semester. So basically, I took a year of college off. I took a year off, and that was 2014 by that time, because I had my daughter in 2014. So at that point, when I had Malaya, I was ready to go back to school. I had enrolled at UTA, and I had enrolled in a community college that was down the street from my house, because I just wanted to take some classes that summer to be prepared to go back to, you know, school, and then to go to a university, going from a JUCO. It was still just a stepping stone for me, because I had not experienced a university. So I went ahead and enrolled in community college that summer, and I took like one class. I think it was a Spanish, and I took it that summer. It was night classes, and my daughter was going back and forth between a friend at the time and my mom's house while I was going to class. So it was hard, you guys. When I tell you it was hard because I would literally go to work at around 7:30. I had to be at work. At the time, my mom was keeping Malaya. I think something was going on in that situation. She was not in daycare yet. She didn't go to daycare until about her 10th to 12th month. So around this time, she was only like 3 months, 4 months when I decided to take a summer class. And I honestly don't think it was 2. I think it was 1 class that I took that summer. And it was hard for me. It was super hard. And I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. But I kept going. And I ended up not going to the university in August. I ended up going to the community college that I was going to already for summer classes. And I went ahead and got another science class out of the way, because I think at the university level, to get my bachelor's, I needed like 4 sciences, 4 maths. So I was like, let me just get the rest of this stuff out of the way before I go to this university, and I can just focus on my core classes that I need to get my degree. So in August, I continued to go to the community college. I took still part-time. I took about 2 classes. I took the statistics class, and I took a science or something. I don't know what I was taking, y'all. This was, mind you, years ago. 2014, that was like 5 years ago. So I ended up taking some type of classes. So around this time, I also went through a family emergency, and I was going through things with my brother, my oldest brother. It was a lot going on. Still to this day, it's still going on, so I can't really speak on it. So I was I was in a really bad emotional state, because I also was no longer with my child's father. I had this still new baby. She was when August came, March, April, May, June, July, August. Malaya was about, gotta count. Malaya was about 5 to 6 months around the time school started back. So I had ended the relationship with my child's father back in July, and then I was starting school in August. Mind you, postpartum depression was not something that was talked about as much as it's talked about today, especially not in my family. I didn't even know what that was. Honestly, I didn't even go to my doctor that much after I had Malaya. I went to the checkup after I had the baby, but then after that, I didn't go. So I didn't know that at the time. Now that I look back on it, it's like, dang, girl, you were depressed. Like, you were going through a lot. So ended the relationship with my child's father. So now I'm a single parent, because unfortunately, when you end a relationship for whatever reason, some people don't get the hint that you still have 2 parents. So now I'm a single parent doing everything on my own, trying to juggle school, trying to juggle being a parent, trying to still understand that everybody else around me has a life and nobody wants to watch your daughter all freaking day, which is understandable. Nobody wants your kid all day. They didn't have that kid. That's your child. That's your responsibility. So I would literally come home from work and my daughter would be there because at the time my mom was watching her. So then I would have to try to do work, schoolwork, and at the time I was in August I was taking online classes or something. I was taking online classes. So I'm juggling, trying to be a parent, trying to be an employee, trying to deal with whatever mental stuff I have going on. And then comes November, the situation with my brother happens, and it's like, it's the holidays, it's supposed to be a fun time, we're supposed to be happy and loving and spending time with your family, but I didn't get that. We didn't have that. We had so much going on, and it was like I couldn't catch a break. I could not. My brother was living with me at the time that the incident happened, that the situation happened. He was living with me, so then he was no longer there with me and Malaya, so then it was just us, and it was a very hard time for me, and I don't know how I made it, but I did. So I'm here to tell you guys, you can do it. You can make it through. Now, I'm not here to tell you that the process is easy. It's not going to be quick. It's a very slow process, you guys. Like, I could only go to school part-time. I could not go to school full-time and juggle being a new mom and being an employee at that time when I was going through all that. So I was only going to school part-time, and I was going through all of that. So come January, I'm like, okay, well, it's time. I'm still juggling with the situation with my brother, but I'm like, I have to do this. I have to have a better life for me and my child. This is just what I have to do. You got to put on your big girl panties and you have to get it done. So I enrolled at UTA again. I got accepted. I started my classes. I went to orientation. I transferred all my credits to UTA. All of my credits transferred, and it was time to get it done. So when I first went to UTA, I decided to do all classroom and some online, but mostly classroom courses. So I would go to school at night and I would have like 1 or 2 online classes, and at this time I was full-time. I was taking right at the full-time limit, which was 12 hours. So I went ahead and I did 12 hours, and I passed my classes. I passed my classes by the grace of the Lord, because I had a Spanish class. First of all, actually, you know what? I started with 12 hours, but I ended up dropping the Spanish class. When I realized that the Spanish class was in Spanish, like, I come from a Spanish-speaking family, and I don't know a lick of Spanish. Like, my mama did not teach me Spanish at all. So I'm in this classroom and I'm completely lost. By this time I'm like in Spanish 4 or 3, or because my degree required me to have 4 language classes. But at the time I didn't know that I could take different language classes. I thought that I had to stick with the one that I was already taking, which I had already took 2 years of Spanish. So now I'm like on the 3rd year. And they're not speaking English. This teacher did not talk to me in English at all. And I'm like, I'm gonna fail this class. I tried to stick it out in that class, and I'm just like, no. We had tests, we had stuff that was due. She only spoke Spanish, so I didn't know. I didn't know stuff was due, so I was missing assignments, and I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this. I can't do this. So I ended up dropping that class. I was down to 9 hours, actually. So I only had 9 hours by the end of the semester, but I completed them. I completed those 9 hours, and I got like a 2.7-ish GPA, so it wasn't all that, but I passed. And then came summer, I continued to take classes up until I graduated in 2018. So by this time, 2015, I enrolled at UTA. And the year 2015, I enrolled at UTA. And I continued my college career through UTA. I didn't transfer. I didn't go to any other school. I continued all my courses at UTA from 2015 to 2018. The reason why it took me 3 years to receive my bachelor's degree after I graduated JUCO was because I was going part-time. It wasn't until my last year, which was 2017, end of the semester, till the 2018 May spring semester, that I went full-time. Probably some semesters within that I did go full-time, but most of the time I was going to school part-time because my job would not allow me to go full-time. I worked from 7:30 a.m. in the morning until about 5 o'clock that evening, and then I had to go pick up my daughter from daycare. At the time, she was in daycare at this time, and it was just too much. It was too much. So I finally said, my last year, I was like, I'm ready to graduate. If I don't graduate, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna give up, and I need to finish school. So that's when I made the arrangements to figure something else out. And my job had just basically told us that we were gonna be laid off. So that was another thing that I had to go through. And I had never been laid off from a job before, so I was like, laid off? Like, I thought y'all would always need this department. So we got laid off around the end of 2016, but we found out at the beginning of 2016. So we had plenty of time to either decide to move on to a different department within the company, or just to, you know, stay, wait it out, collect our servants, and be without a job, which I ultimately did because I needed the break, and I needed to know that I needed to find something else. I knew I couldn't go to another department because it was going to be full-time, and I knew that I could not continue to work full-time and graduate in 2018, which was my goal. So the end of 2016 came. December, we got laid off. We collected servants packages, and I collected unemployment. And honey, in this time, I had moved and everything. I had relocated, got a 2-bedroom apartment, me and Malaya, and I was paying a different amount in rent, so I had more bills. But I survived. How I survived, I don't know. I saved a little, not a lot. I saved a little because I knew we were going to get laid off, but I was prepared, and my bills got paid, and I wasn't working from December till March when I found my part-time job. So I found a part-time job that would get me as close to or more than what I was making full-time, and that's what I did. And I didn't settle until I got that job, and that is the job I got. So even though I was working way less hours, I was still making as much, if not sometimes more, than what I was making full-time. So it was a blessing in disguise. It was a lot of sad faces when we got laid off, but some of these people had gave this company years of their life, and they just let them go. So me, I was young. I was still, you know, I'm like, this is not my forever. So I didn't understand, but I sympathized, because that's the thing with these employers. You give them all you got, you give them years of service, and they just let you go like that. So I ended up going part-time at work. I had started all my classes already. I was on a full-time schedule. I was taking 15 hours, I think. I want to say I took 15 hours that semester. I was working part-time. Summer came. I took 2 summer classes, and I was done. I was finished with school. I graduated. I did not have to think about school ever again unless I was going to get my master's degree, which I wasn't. still not there. Maybe when Malaya gets a little older and I get a better career, I will think about going to get my master's, but right now it's the furthest thing on my mind because we are just getting into a routine where she's going to actual school. So I'm not having to pay for daycare and I'm not having to deal with part-time schooling. So we're just getting adjusted to this lifestyle. So to think about going back to school right now is just the furthest thing on my mind. But the whole purpose of this video is kind of to try to walk you through my journey. It's of course summed up and I'm trying to remember from 5 years ago till now, but hopefully it could help and motivate you guys in some way to know that everybody's walk is different, everybody's journey is different. Can I sit here and tell you guys, if I didn't have a kid, I would have graduated years ago? I can sit here and give you my opinion and say, yeah, I would have been graduated, but I could have went through other obstacles. I could have went through other situations where I still wouldn't have graduated until now. My point is, what's meant for you is going to be for you, and it's going to go the way it's going to go. You can try to, drive the boat all you want. You could try to, drive the Benz or whip the whip all you want, but your destiny, your pathway is already drawn out for you. So you're going to go through obstacles. You're going to go through things. You're going to have to jump over barriers. You're going to have to jump through hoops. But as long as you get there, like looking at me, nobody would know what I went through in those years of why I didn't graduate. All they can say is, dang girl, you still ain't graduated, or dang girl, you still in school. But they don't know what I went through and why I was still in school. Yes, I had a child, but she wasn't the sole purpose of why I was going through what I was going through. I went through a breakup with the person that was supposed to help me raise this child. I went through the situation with my brother. I went through a lot that to some people on the outside looking in may not be nothing, because they could say, well, I went through this, or I lost my mother, I lost my grandmother. Everybody's journey is different. So when people look at people with kids and say, oh, you'll never be nothing, you'll never amount to nothing, just because my kid to you is the biggest barrier put on this earth, what you may go through may be a bigger barrier to me, So I never try to judge people, and I never try to put people down, because everybody's walk is different. Like me, I'm not sitting here bragging because, oh, I had a kid and I still graduated, when some people who don't have kids quit. Like, no, everybody's journey and walk is different, and I cannot stress that enough. I'm the first person to graduate in my family, and I'm talking generations, not my mom's kids. I'm talking way, 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 way back. And that's me telling you, I didn't have anyone pushing me to keep on going. I didn't have anyone telling me what I should do, what route I should take. Should I just stop going part-time? Should I go full-time? Because nobody around me experienced it. I didn't have friends that were going through what I was going through. So my best friend was in college, but at the time she didn't have kids. So her college situation, of course, again, was different from mine. So you guys, I'm making this video because I want to help you guys, and I want to tell you guys you can do it. If it's something that you want, not the people around you, but you want, and you can motivate yourself to keep going and to do it, that's all you need, because that's all I had. The motivation of my child, being a single parent, being a mother, not wanting her to be a statistic, not wanting myself to be a statistic, is why I kept going. It wasn't for no one else. Yes, I had in the back of my mind that I was going to make my parents proud, being their first kid to graduate college. Yes, I had in the back of my mind that my grandmother was looking down on me, and she was like, oh yeah, my grandbaby graduated, one of my grandkids graduated. Something in the back of my mind. Yes, those things did keep me motivated, but ultimately it was up to me. It was up to me to do that work. It was up to me to keep going. It was up to me to figure out how I was going to get Malaya here and me get to class. It was up to me. And it's going to be up to you. You can have all the motivation in the world from your kids, your family, and but if you're not in it, it's going to be hard. it's gonna be hard to keep going. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I didn't have hard days, because I had days where I was like, bump this, not doing it, I don't care, forget it. But I mean, we all have those days. It's life, and you're gonna figure out life after college. You're still gonna have those days of just doing life. Life itself is hard. So I wanted to make this video because I know there's so many people out there who are currently, you know, going to college as parents and having to wake up, get the kids ready, get yourself ready, go to work, go pick up the kids, drop them off where they need to be, or let them go to after school or daycare, and then you have to go to school yourself. I know it's a journey, I know it's a struggle, but if it's something that you really want, you're gonna do it, and you're gonna get through it. It's not gonna be an easy journey. It's not gonna come as fast as you want it to come, but it's gonna come, and it's gonna come on time, and it's gonna come exactly when you need it. But I hope this video was helpful. I hope you guys got fire under you, and you're going to be okay. You're gonna get through this semester. You're gonna do great in all of your classes. And yeah, I ended up graduating, just to put that out there. I did graduate with like a 3.2, barely a 3.0, but I still graduated. I still got the work done, and I still made it through. So this is just a video to let you guys know that you can too. You just have to put your mind to it, and you just gotta do it. So yeah, let me know any other video requests that you want from me, whether it be college related, parent related, and I will try my best to get those videos up for you guys. But go ahead and give this one a thumbs up. Make sure y'all subscribe before y'all go. I know we forget, but subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.